Hello everyone, and welcome to the beautiful city of Edinburgh on a beautiful sunny day. And I'm Chris. I run the website Morse and Lewis and Endeavour.com, which is about all things in the Morse universe. I'm here to talk about and review the episode TROVE, which is the first episode of series 2. The first problem with reviewing these early episodes, if you can call it a problem, is that it reminds you of how good the series used to be in respect of the last two series have been of Endeavour, the 5th and 6th series. The episode TROVE has to be one of the top 10 episodes, in my opinion, of all 6 series. It's believable, it's honest, and it's sincere. It's things that you, unfortunately, are not getting in many of the episodes we've had recently. Again, series 5 and 6. The episode starts with 4 months after the episode Home, series 1, episode 4, after Endeavour's been shot and of course lost his father. So he's going through emotional as well as physical problems. So he's been on secondment to Whitney, where he's been, as I think it's Bright says, he's been pushing paper clips, but now he's back with the team in Cowley. One thing that makes this episode and episodes around this era of Endeavour is the fact that, unlike more recent episodes, it has pub scenes, plenty of classical music, it has a lot of humour, and of course it has various connections to the old Morse series as well. Again, those 4 things are missing from the recent series. Everybody is on top form in this episode. Jakes, Endeavour, and Thursday as well. As always, Roger Allam many times steals many of the scenes he's in, and of course this episode contains a scene, I think, where most people have it in their top 5 scenes of all time of the Endeavour series, and that's where he stops the two police officers who beat up Endeavour, and he tells them, of course, that he's trying to find out why they beat Endeavour up. Fred says, "Suppose you tell me why you beat Endeavour up," and they say, "Suppose we don't." And of course Thursday comes out with the immortal line, "Then I'll have to take my hat off." I can't think of anyone who's an Endeavour fan or Morse fan doesn't enjoy that episode. Of course there's a few changes in this episode. Bright is now a little more sympathetic towards Endeavour, when before in series 1 he really didn't have much time for Endeavour, but now you see he's warming to him. He's realising what a strong character Endeavour is, I think. Jakes is also feeling rather sympathetic towards Endeavour. He even appreciates where Endeavour puts down Copley Barnes, the very arrogant professor. I keep referring back to the last 2 series, which was very disappointing in my eyes. I know there's many people who enjoyed both series, but in those 2 series you had to make so many numerous leaps of imagination, and you had to suspend disbelief so often. With this episode and episodes around this era, there's not that. There's maybe 1, 2 at the most. You have to suspend disbelief, but very few. The whole episode is good, or great I should say, to be honest. I think good's not a good enough superlative to give to the episode. And a new character and female interest for Endeavour turns up in the form of Monica Hicks, the nurse. And I was always a fan of Monica Hicks, and I think the character was very poorly served by Russell Lewis. She disappeared without any good rhyme or reasons. Endeavour broke up with her without any proper rhyme or reason, where Monica Hicks becomes a peripheral character and her storyline is never properly resolved, which I think irritated a lot of fans, not just me. The episode moves along at a very brisk pace. The pacing is excellent. As always, you can't fault the cinematography, you can't fault the direction either. The direction was by, I believe it's a Swedish director who filmed the excellent series The Killing. If you haven't seen that series, you should look that up. Hello, and as you can see, we're at a new location. This is outside St Cuthbert's Church. It's one of my favourite places to sit and read and just contemplate the world and life. But meanwhile, back at Endeavour. Pacing in this episode is elegant and unforced. Again, unfortunately, I'm sorry I have to go back to the 5th and 6th series, but you felt sometimes that certain parts of the episodes, or some of the episodes, were just felt that the pacing was forced along, that it didn't feel natural. Even the car chase element in this episode didn't feel out of place. When Russell Lewis, you feel that with these early episodes, he's enjoying the writing, because he's writing the screenplay feels fluid and natural and organic, unlike the recent episodes where you feel almost that Russell is having to force issues into each episode. There's times you feel that Russell is not enjoying the process. If it's become too much and overwhelming, which is understandable, as I've said before, he's written every episode. So he's written 27 episodes, which amounts to almost 54 hours of television. That is a daunting task for anybody. But this episode, it feels like he's enjoying writing it. The organic element also can be seen in Endeavour's character, because you do feel it's coming from a natural place, that he's growing as a character, he's growing as a person, unlike the recent episodes where you feel he's doing things out of character, things that you wouldn't imagine Endeavour Morse would actually do. Endeavour in this episode shows signs of a vulnerability, wherein the older Morse really showed that emotion at all. But the older Morse disliked feeling exposed and defenceless, especially emotionally. But in this episode, certainly the young Endeavour is, and that's brought over wonderfully by Sean Evans. It's a real powerhouse of his acting ability in this episode. The older Morse hated that feeling of that emotion of vulnerability, of being exposed, especially emotionally. This element to Endeavour's character dissipates in later episodes of the Endeavour series as he becomes a little harder, especially emotionally. This episode, I think, is where you see that hardness forming, where the young Morse is growing into the older Morse that we come to still love and adore. If there's one criticism of this episode that I have, it's the ending. It is a bit ridiculous and involves a huge leap of faith and imagination from us, the viewer, for the way that Endeavour comes to conclusions on who the guilty parties are. But because how good the episode actually was, you can forgive this anomaly. Now, in the Morse episode, Ghost in the Machine, Morse tells a professor not to leave Oxford. The professor asks, "For how long?" Morse replies, "Just until my imaginings are complete." The imaginings of Endeavour in this episode TROVE were satisfying and very enjoyable. Well, that's me come to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and to my website. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. So until next time, thank you, take care, bye.